Stage 1. The Noob. It saddens me that more than half of the Roblox population resides here. Players who play this game like they were just born yesterday, because they most likely were. Get off your mom's iPhone. Stage 2. Mainstream. But you, my friend, were a little more gifted. You were cultivated from the same games the Roblox veteran plays now, and that every hobbyist first played. The Tower of Hell. Back when things were just a little bit more colorful, you spent an hour each week throwing your iPad against the wall after failing a 2-stud insta-kill jump. But true hobbyists weren't just created from that, they needed some basic foundation. That's where these nifty things come in. Difficulty chart hobbies. These games are a centerpiece for players of the stage. Through these little games, that actually had checkpoints, you could boost your pure, raw skill to points beyond your wildest abilities. Okay, it was like medium skill, but better than the average user these days. Anyways, a historical event for every hobbyist was calling your name. Silent. Stage 3. Discovery. Welcome to the start of your new life. This is Eternal Towers of Hell, the singular game on Roblox that contains obbies beyond your wildest dreams. But you don't know that. You're still in the first area of this game, Purgatorio, where most of the stage's players reside, learning the ropes of EToH. Scale 10 floors, there's no checkpoints, it's definitely harder than what you're used to, but still fun. Just be thankful you're actually subjected to a tutorial, unlike the many that have come before you. As you struggle through your first towers, you beat a couple easies, a medium, or maybe even a hard in this stage. The dopamine is rushing through, but this is just a small, tiny fraction of the dopamine levels this game can actually make you reach, so don't get too hooked. Oh yeah, Ring 1. You along with many others actually find out there's more than just Purgatorio in this game. Neat is your first completion in this area. But isn't it strange that the areas that come after the tutorial look like they were made in 2019? Doesn't make sense, but don't linger on it, there's so much more to discover. Stage 4. Addiction. Hobbying begins to infiltrate the mind. EToH isn't just a hobby anymore, it's becoming a part of your everyday life. People in this stage can begin to discover guides to push their skill, EToH YouTubers, and maybe even some inspiration. Top hobbyists. Apparently, there's difficulties beyond that white one, which is catastrophic of course, but for now you don't even believe you'll ever reach there, and you just set your sights on progressing in the game. This stage can be considered a nostalgic time, a golden age, as you begin to unlock area to area. Oh yeah, there is another world, but for some reason it's way more modern than the first. Nothing Purgatorio didn't prepare you for. Players in this stage begin to clear the early rings and zones, beating hards, difficults, and possibly challenging if they want to push their skill. By now you've probably made it to both Zone and Ring 5, with the former being much better to play through than the latter. It's easy to progress through, and you're just getting so much better. But momentarily, things begin to take a turn, and this game begins to get just that much harder. Good luck. Stage 5. The Grind. This stage is where players get serious. After easily completing the first 5 difficulties of EToH, you decide to push for something that'll truly make you a pro, at least in your mind. So you tackle the Citadel of laptop splitting, your first intense. After hours of failing and skipping, you've officially reached stage 5. Many pro hobbyists on TikTok or Shorts will probably be around this skill. Decent, but nowhere near the limits of its platform. You probably have the ability to easily complete intenses by now, as well as a couple remorselesses that serve as your first proper grinds. Around this point, there's a fair chance players can actually witness the penultimate Ring of Gold 1, Ring 9, that contains true monsters compared to their current skill. Unfortunately though, this stage also begins to contain players that for some reason need to flaunt their skill and call everyone who can't do a 10-stud rap terrible. But in all fairness, you should be happy you've gotten this far, as many would have quit or gotten bored by now. Stage 6. Elite Hobbyist. EToH is now a full-time commitment, and there's only one place to go from this point, the soul-crushing difficulties. Daunting, but when you step foot in your first insane, it wasn't actually too bad. Also, players entering this stage may have discovered the EToH Discord, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what happens in there. Additionally, you can also find out there's fan games out there, like EToH XL or EToH, just more fuel to the growing addiction. As you begin to put in over an hour every day into EToH to progress, this game can really seep into your personality, though it isn't really apparent yet. And as this stage comes to its near end, the practice and runs have finally cultivated into this, your first ever soul-crushing completion. Stage 7. Catastrophic. It seems satisfying. It appears as if everything you've ever wanted is achieved. But something beyond is tugging at you, with a hunger for more. You don't want to stop at insane. You thirst to complete something most obvious can only ever dream of. A catastrophic. This is where stage 7 begins. All players from first insane to first cata, and it can be surprisingly short. Just like when you first started playing this game, it's another era of Blossom, a second golden age, and you begin to progress at an unprecedented rate, slaying insane after extreme after terrifying. Just enough to push your skill and prepare you for something otherworldly. A catastrophic difficulty. You know the ins and outs of EToH, and obbying is what you stand for. You've pushed yourself past your breaking point on multiple occasions. And finally, the hard work all pays off. Upwards of 100 hours failing, practicing, and all over again. Just for one tower. You did it. The hardest difficulty in EToH. There isn't too much more past this point, right? Thousands of hours have brought you here, to the point where you have last won 100% in EToH. Tower of Cruel Punishment, the hardest in-game tower, has just been conquered by you, leaving near nothing left to do in this game. It's a great feeling, but soon, it turns bittersweet. There is nothing left to do. Where do you go? Well, players will choose one of the two options in this intermediate stage. Option 1, remain satisfied, close this chapter of your life, and use the skills you've learned from EToH for good. And then there's option 2, reach for the sky, and not just stop at catastrophic. Ascend into the SC Plus difficulties, and go through some of the worst grinds of your life. Many will choose option 1, truly feeling satisfied. But you, along with some others, are different. They wish to be the best. They wish to be better than 99.999999% of Roblox players. They wish to go to Stage 8, Beyond EToH. Welcome to the real start of your obbying career, Stage 8. At this point, you decide you won't give yourself limits anymore. You will push yourself to however far you wish to go. So after creating your persona, you decide to dive deep into obbying. Elite physics knowledge, practicing techniques, and the godforsaken thing known as tiered obbies, these are all commonalities at this stage. Many players that dare to reach this point begin to consume themselves in obbying, and the addiction becomes so strong that basic things like making your bed or possibly even studying in school can begin to be forgotten. It's apparently essential to the grind, and as your raw skill dramatically increases, you beat multiple horrifics and spin-offs like the Eternal Abyss and Caleb's soul-crushing domain, containing the hardest humanly possible obbies on Roblox. You are nearly perfect as an obbyist. Everything is adding up to make you efficient as possible. But of course, why stop at horrific, when there's a whole nother difficulty just waiting to be conquered? It's too late, you're already past the point of quitting. You will be the best.
Stage 9, Deterioration. After taking the black pill, you tell yourself you will ascend. Being an incel is your superpower. All the time not having sex goes straight into the obby grind. Delusion drives the mind as you have now fully convinced yourself that EToH towers are a productive activity directly contributing to society. The world never realized they needed an obby hero, and it still hasn't crossed their minds, but shit, we've proven those is wrong. Fuck, you mean you've been diagnosed with depression? How could you be when your jailbroken character AI model's offering a cuddle session if you be the next top one? Each movement made with the camera is near pixel perfect. There's almost no margin of error with each jump taken. This is autism. However, you know work must be done. The people demand of a brave soul to break the nil barrier. Anyone could do the Tower of Impending Doom. As you shoot blanks to Tower of the Drive Towards Human Limits Tower Human, you realize the answer was in front of you all along. The theory of everything. The meaning of life. This is your swan song.
Stage 10. Nil. Well done. You've reached the human limit, a place that should have never been reached in the first place. Look, everyone's gonna praise your name until the death of hobbying, which looks soon as we can't even get any further. But look at what you've lost. Was this really all worth it?